All right, everybody. Coming up in just a few moments, the Real Talk Sports Show will be on the air. Keep it locked right here, and we'll be on in just a moment. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the minister, Jonathan Simmons, as we're broadcasting to you just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And you guys can probably hear, hey, what's that noise in the background? Well, the minister is a man who is a working man, as well as being your sports guy. So just finishing up my Clark Kent job, which is being in commercial account manager at Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln, who you guys know is our premier sponsor here of the show. So I am leaving there, heading to a location nearby where we can give you guys some updates and check in with what is going on with the Hawks. And so we appreciate you as you join us here. You know, this is a big game for the Hawks here tonight. Let me not say that. It's a game that it would be great if the Hawks could win to steal the game and grab a win and come back home with a split. But it's not absolutely critical that they win this game. They actually can be down 2-0 and, they have home court advantage coming back two straight games here in Atlanta. So it's not the end of the world if the Hawks lose this game, but I would think at the end of the day, it's a big deal, and they really would need to win this game if they want to, make this series a series that we all think can go deep, at least 6 or 7 games. So we're hoping that the Hawks will be able to do that, and we'll see. A lot of other stuff going on, and we're going to talk about throughout the broadcast. We're also going to talk about the NFL and what is happening with the National Football League free agency. Big signing today. Wasn't a free agent, but the Eagles have ponied up to the bar. We'll talk about the huge contract that Jalen Hurts has. I guess they call it a historic contract. So we're going to, again, be a part of that as well. So like I said, guys, great stuff here. We are in motion here trying to get to our location. And so appreciate those of you who are hanging in with us here as you just are watching our front avatar. We will shortly bring out the Queen and let her talk to you as well. So like I said, guys, a lot of great stuff going on here, and we're trying to make it happen as we are on the scene here at a local establishment. And we're going to try to get in and get situated here for you guys so we can do our broadcast and get it set up. So we'll be with you hopefully in just a few moments to talk here about more what's going on here on the Real Talk Sports Show, what's going on here in the world of sports everywhere. So again, we're appreciative to those of you who have locked into us. Remember, you can follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. That's where we're located, anywhere on social media, except for YouTube. YouTube, we're at Real Talk Sports TV. So check us out there if you want to. Not if you want to. I'm asking you, please, like James Brown, please, 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 come on out and lock on, go on, subscribe to our page. You can check out. We got all kinds of stuff going on in terms of articles, interviews. So please go on to the Real Talk Sports TV and check us out. We'd love to have you guys be a part of what we have going on. And we thank you again as you have patience as we're trying to get set to a location where we can actually stop and finish the broadcast right now. Like I said, again, we're kind of just in the middle of no man's zone, but we're going to make it happen here for you in just a moment here on the Real Talk Sports Show as we get settled in at a local sports bar. And we'll be on the air with you in just a moment. So please keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. And we're going to take a little break in just a moment as our engineers get us set to go here so we can be on the air hopefully sooner rather than later with great sports talk. Like I said, again, we're getting set here to go into a local establishment here where we can get in here and park. So we're trying to do that, guys, as we get set. So bear with us here. Again, you're watching and listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, and as you would expect with the Hawks in the playoffs, it is capacity crowd here at the location I'm at. Actually, people are parking everywhere up on the curb, all kind of spots. And this is actually a location that is owned by one of my clients. So we're going to go in here and let you guys see the scene in just a moment. And then hopefully we'll be able to get on and talk with the queen and let her tell you about some of the things that she has seen in the world of sports here in this last weekend. So like I said, again, we are here. I know we're in the middle of the game, and we'll be getting updates on what's happening with the Hawks as they take on the Celtics. Also, we want to talk about here as the rest of the NBA. You know, there's all the big news going on. Milwaukee Bucks, their reigning MVP. I should say reigning MVP. He's been an MVP. Giannis, I don't want to try to pronounce his name because I'll screw it up. But anyway, Giannis got an injury, his back injury. He's out. And Ja Morant is also out as well for the Grizzlies, suffering some injuries there. So hopefully both of those guys will be back in to the playoffs because they are two obviously stars of the NBA. You'd hate to see them out, especially the Bucks, because the Bucks really have been the best team in the league. All right, guys, I didn't realize my mic was off. All this time we've been chatting and you guys haven't heard a word I'm saying. My mic has been out. Sorry about that. But we're going to let you guys take a look at the scene that we're seeing here as we go into one of the top sports bars here in South Metro Atlanta. I'm going to let you guys take a look at this and see what I'm seeing here. And then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get the queen on to let her talk about what she thinks the Hawks may do and what her opinion is about what is happening with all the injuries, and will the Bucks and also the Grizzlies be able to survive without their two stars, two of the best players in the NBA. So we're going to get back to that in just a moment here. Like I said, again, I'm going to flip this camera around so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at here as we approach one of the most popular sports bars in South Metro Atlanta, owned by one of my customers, Mike George. It's his location here. I'm going to let you guys take a peek at this. We come around the corner. But I want you guys to see the scene and what's happening here in South Metro Atlanta. And there we are. We're walking in now, guys. As you can see, there are cars everywhere. They're parked up on the side. This place is packed. This is the All-In Sports Bar and Lounge. Again, this is owned by one of my clients at Allen Visual Ford, Mike George. That's where we are here at the All-In Sports Bar. I would tell you guys to come down, but that'd probably be a bad idea because it is packed out. You can't move. There's nowhere to be. You can see the people everywhere. But it's packed here as the huge event here. Bikes everywhere. I want you guys to check this out. This is the scene right here.
Here's how we do it each and every Tuesday. All wheels up, all in. Sports Bar. Outside Parkway right here in Marlow, baby.
It looks like. I'm about to get out of the earshot of this music because you know how they get me all the time. They'll be like, hey, this is like copyrighted music. So we'll have to get out of this location. All right, guys, we're going to take a break here. As you expect, we got lots of Jeeps out here. I'm a little disappointed I don't see more Ford pickups, but that's okay. But this is here. I want you guys to take a look at all of these different Jeeps. Look at this. So that's one thing with live, you never know what you might see. These are some of the Jeeps out here. And you can see there, these are really laid out here, all these different Jeeps. This is what they do out here on Tuesday night. You guys take a look at all of these Jeeps that are out here. So this is it here, guys. I'm going to take a little break here as we get set. I'm going to try to get somewhere where we can get a little bit more quiet. I want you guys, again, to see all these different Jeeps that are out here. All the different colors. As you see, pretty cool. Look at this. Look at this one here. So these are some of the different Jeeps that are out here. You see more coming. This is a car and bike show in real time. Jeeps and bikes everywhere. Going back to the old school, they call it Willys. Now, you guys probably don't know what that is, but that's the original Jeep. They used to call them Willys back in the day. That's it. This young man knows. There he is. That's right. There's some ladies here for the event. As you can see, it is packed out here. Again, this is All In Sports Bar. And then just a moment, we're going to take a break. I'm going to stop by here because this is actually owned by one of my clients from Allen Vigil Ford, Mr. Mike George. He's got this set up. This place was kind of on a decline, and through his marketing genius, he has got this place packed out every Tuesday night. There's some more Hawks fans. I don't know. Yeah, Hawks fans? Yep. They said, there you go, right there. See, that's 1A. More Hawks fans right there. Hawks fans in the building.
Yep, Infusion Car Club.
There we go.
Thank you, man.
Lots going on here.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to take a quick little station break, but we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go nowhere, please. We'll be back.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
All right, guys, we're back. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. As you can see, guys, they're here. Up right next to me moving through the parking lot is one of the most beautiful women in sports talk radio and TV. We just simply call it Queen. Tree Dolman is in the building. Queen, welcome back.
Hello.
And beneath us here is not one, but a two-time Super Bowl champion. And he is a member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. And he's an all-around nice guy. Number 38, Tyrone Poole, is also in the building. Tyrone, what's going on, sir?
How we doing, everybody? How you doing, Jonathan, Miss Tree? Everybody, hope you are well. And Jonathan, man, were you out duck hunting?
Yeah, Tyrone. You know, the one thing about being employed by our premier sponsor is that from time to time, customers don't understand that, hey, I got to do a sports show. So I had a customer come in with an extremely large deposit on her vehicle, and we had to stay till all got counted because she decided to bring it in cash, $25,000. So that took me a little longer than I expected. But nevertheless, the show must go on. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here and staying with us here on the Real Talk Sports Show. Okay, so now let's take a look first at, can either one of you guys give me an update of the score of the Hawks game right now as we speak?
53-66 Boston. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and take it over, Tree. What's happening, Tree? What are they doing? What are you seeing so far with the Hawks game? Do the Hawks look like they can pull it off, or they look like they're struggling? Because the score sometimes doesn't indicate what the actual play is on the field, on the court. So what are you actually seeing?
Yeah, the Hawks are doing a good job with rebounding, but the problem is that with half of the second quarter taking place, and that was earlier, they already had 8 turnovers, which is not good. So they have to stop turning the ball over. They need to play better defense, and they need to keep getting the rebounds. Rebounding will definitely make a difference. And I also noticed that some of the shots were just not hitting right now. So hopefully they can start finding their rhythm and hitting some of the shots that they normally make.
Yeah, and you mentioned rhythm, and I definitely believe rhythm is a key, especially in basketball and any sport, rhythm. But you mentioned turnovers. Turnovers. Is there one particular person that has committed more turnovers, or is it just collectively the team is misfiring here and there, causing those turnovers?
Yeah, it's just the team. So the team has a total of 8 turnovers. Well, they had a total, so I don't know how many they have now. But when there was 8 minutes and 57 seconds left in the second quarter, they had 8 turnovers at that time. So I'm not sure how many they have now.
Yeah, so I guess Trae Young, everybody knows he's the face of the team, and he is the trigger man. So how is he playing tonight?
He's playing all right. He missed a free throw, and you normally don't see that, but I know nobody makes all of their free throws, but he's pretty much just a guarantee when he goes to the line. But he's playing all right. The team is playing all right, but we definitely have to step it up. All right is not going to be enough to beat the Celtics.
Yeah. So being honest with all the fans, and I know we have a lot of hopeful Hawks fans out there, and I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm homegrown, straight out of LaGrange, Georgia, right? Straight out of Compton, straight out of LaGrange, Georgia. The other LA, LaGrange, LAG, but anyways, the other LA. But for all the hope, the Hawks hopeful, coming from Tree, a person that has been on that mountaintop, you know what it takes, and sometimes you also know, you know what, we got our hands full this game here. What do you see the Hawks' outcome in beating the Celtics? Do they truly have an opportunity to beat the Celtics?
Yes, believe it or not, the Hawks definitely have a chance to beat the Celtics. Will it be easy? No. The Celtics, we know, is such a great team. They have great shooters. They have great defense. They have that energy. They have that team chemistry. But I will say that when the Hawks come to play, they come to play. And it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the court. When they are rebounding and playing defense and they have in their mind that they are not losing the game, then they don't lose. They just need to keep that mentality, and they need to play every game with that. And when people are doubting them and not believing in them, and they're showing that, hey, we got this, just like they did with the Miami game,
Yes.
and nobody picked them to win out of the 12 analysts, and they went down there and handled business. When they play with that attitude and with the defense and saying that we have something to prove, then they usually prove whatever it is that they've set out. They just need to have that attitude every game, especially now that they're in the playoffs, because we know the playoffs is a step above regular season, and they can do it. They have the talent, they have the ability. It's just all in the way that they play the game.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you
go out,
100%.
we'll see.
100%. 100%, Tree. It's all about the attitude. It's about when you go into that playoffs, we call that the second season. It's the second season. When you go into that second season, you can't go into that second season with the same attitude you had in the first season, okay? It's like it's crunch time now. It's win or go home. It's bring your best, you know, and we as players, we would basically, if we had to grab somebody around the collar and jack them up and say, hey, look at here, you messing with my money. So you better bring your game today. Stop fooling around. You're hurting the team. So yeah, this playoffs is all about the attitude. Everybody's talented. Everybody can shoot the ball. Like you said earlier, it's all about chemistry. It's all about team. And it's all about an attitude, and definitely about those turnovers, right? So I know we have a lot of things, other questions and topics. What about the actual Warriors? You know, I know one of the questions Jonathan had up is that the Warriors have lost again. They're down 2-0. Will their bad play on the road cause them an early exit from the playoffs? And you know, I'm like, I'll jump on it first, and then I give it to you, since you did a great job with the Hawks, giving them Hawks fans a lot of hope, Tree. So, so you guys heard it from Miss Tree. If she say that the Hawks have a chance, they got a chance. You ask me, I'm like them Celtics, man. They're tough, but like Tree say, anybody's beatable. But when it comes to the Warriors, you know, I look at where they are. I'm like, they've had a long run, right? A long run. And I look at teams across all sporting platforms. There comes a time when you have to reset the clock. You got to reset the clock. You know, like they say, you can't win forever. You can't win forever. They're not as talented as I think they have been in the past seasons, but do they still have key players in place? Yes, they do. And those players have to step up greatly. And if they don't step up greatly, then, you know, there are going to be problems. Poole, you know, my cousin, I'm going to go ahead and claim him, Tree. I'm going to claim him as my cousin. So, you know, he got that contract. And, you know, most of the time when people get contracts, you know, they tend to, you know, kind of lose that edge a little bit. I don't know. It's a lot of people saying he's not really playing up to the contract. You know, I know they've had some turmoil here and there. You know, I see Steph Curry all over the subway, man. I'm like, every time I see him, make me want to go to Subway. But you know, really, if they don't get their act together, I do see them having an early exit. And you know, you can win for so long, and people initially they become fearful of you. But then afterward, it's like Rocky, that movie Rocky IV, where Rocky was fighting a Dragoff, and Dragoff's supposed to be this unbeatable boxer, and then Rocky got him to bleed a little bit, and his corner people were like, see, he is a human. He is a human. And I think that's what they're seeing the Golden State Warriors. They lost that little bit of luster, that fear people used to have of them. And if they don't watch it, I think they can have an early exit. So what do you think about that, Tree?
I agree with you. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I do not want them to have an early exit, but we know that when the playoffs come, you can't just win at home. You're going to have to win some games on the road. The thing that brings me some comfort is watching the games. They did have opportunities to win, and the games were pretty close towards the end before the teams ran away with it. The problem was just that when shots were taken, they weren't hit. And usually we'll see Steph making those shots. And we know that Wiggins is back playing, and he just hasn't really got that rhythm that he's used to where he'll shoot the shot and it goes in. He's been shooting, which is great, because he needs to find his rhythm. And once he sees them going in the basket, I believe they'll start getting better. But right now, the shots are just missing at crucial times, but he is still making a great presence on the court. And then we know Draymond Green got ejected, and there's just been different things going on. And what you said with Jordan Poole, I really feel that a lot of people don't take into consideration that when he was playing the way that he was, mainly that is because Steph was out and he was starting. He does not play the same when he comes off the bench as he does when he starts. And that is something that he has to work on, to where he can come in the game and still make that great presence and play the same way. Because yes, you are a player, and yes, you are filling in for Steph, and you have to know your role. And so I'm hoping that he can get better in the rhythm and play the way that he's been playing, because I would love to see some more pool parties. And I do want to see the Golden State Warriors continue to go far in the playoffs, but they have some work to do. And I think that they also have to get another gel together now that Wiggins is back, because that really just, everything that they had going on, now they have to revamp it to put him back in the system. And I'm happy to see Gary Payton Jr. out there, and we'll see. But they have to get some wins on the road, and they have to make some adjustments to get into the rhythm that they have. But Klay Thompson has been shooting lights out and playing great. And Steph, he's just not making as many as he normally makes during clutch time. So I'm hoping that that can change as well. And I'm hoping his wrist is feeling better.
Well, leaving the West Coast and kind of coming to the East Coast a little bit. The Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, and we're talking about the Grizzlies, Morant. You know, them guys are injured. How big of an impact do you think they will have on their particular teams. Giannis with the Bucks and Morant with the Wizards. If those guys can't play every night, what do you think of the Bucks? Even though they had a great overall season record, what do you actually think the outlook is if Giannis is kind of banged up? Because he that was a hard fall that he had on that floor, and that is, whew. I've never come down like that on the floor, but I do know if your back ever start tightening up on you, ooh, my goodness. I don't know how many people who are watching this show have ever had a back injury. And if your back get tight, it shuts down everything. So Giannis, his injury, the Bucks, how big of an impact is that, Tree?
Giannis is the team. Yes, they have great players around Giannis. Yes, they have great shooters around him. Yes, they have great defenders. But we all know that Giannis is the key and the center around that whole team. He scores a lot of points. He scores most of his points in the paint. He makes things happen when things need to happen. And I think that him being out of the game is definitely going to hurt the Bucks. I don't see them going as far as they could if he was in there, because again, he is to me the biggest piece of the pie of the Bucks team. When you look at Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, well, we already saw where Ja wasn't playing when he got suspended because of the incident that he had with the gun in the strip club, and the team still played great without him. I think that because they already were playing great without him and they got used to those lineups and used to winning, that it's not going to affect the team as much as it will the Bucks, just because they were doing great and playing great when Ja Morant was not on the court. So I don't think it's going to affect them as much. Of course, they will go further, I think, with Ja on the court, because we know that he just is great with acrobatics and how he blocks shots and has these amazing dunks, and he's just an electrifying player that lights up the arena and gives you showtime, which the fans wants to see. So we'll see. But I think that both players being out will definitely have an impact on the teams. But I think that the Memphis Grizzlies will not be as impacted because they are playing great without him.
Yeah, and I agree with you definitely on that, Giannis. When you look at your star player, and when that star player goes out, it has a great impact. And just looking at other sports, comparing other sports to the Bucks, I see Giannis as he's the Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. If he goes down, the Packers, man, bet on the other team. He's back in the day, he's the Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. If Dan Marino didn't play, the Bucks, the Dolphins, they are no good. So Giannis is that guy. So I agree with you 100%. If he goes down, so go the Bucks. Morant, you bring up a good point, and goes back to what you said about the actual Hawks. It's that chemistry, it's that team, and those teams that are able to have a bench and have people that can step in when someone gets injured. And actually, I'll take that all the way back to practice, because in order for a team to continue to, as the old Hank Stram, the coach for the old Kansas City Chiefs, would say, continue to triculate down the field, boys, triculate down the field. Well, when you have a team that can lose a key player and still triculate down the field, still go down the court, still score, still win, still stay in the game, that tells me that they have a lot of built-in chemistry. And that chemistry starts not during the actual games, but in practice, how the team works with one another, that family team atmosphere. So, some teams build their structure around one player, and that's the guy. Whereas other teams say, hey, you know what? We're going to build our team on a bed of nails. So a bed of nails, meaning we're going to disperse the weight evenly to everybody. So if one player goes down, all we got to do is just slide over a little bit, and we still disperse that pressure. So I definitely agree with your assessments on that. Now, one of the other questions that we had, sticking with the NBA, and we got Jonathan coming back in. One of the other questions in the NBA is Trae Young. The question is, has the NBA figured out Trae Young? Had they figured him out? Had they figured him out, Tree?
That's an interesting question. I know that his shots have not been lights out like usual. I have noticed that. And I'm not sure if it's because of defense or if it's because of the different ways that he's playing with DeJounte Murray on the team. I can't really tell you the reason or if it's just that the NBA has figured him out, but he's still a great player. He's still an awesome player. He still is somebody that I would definitely want on my team because he makes things happen. He's great with getting his players and teammates involved, with getting assists to them and shooting shots. I just would like to see more of the shots and more of his shimmy. But what do you think?
I think actually, when I look at the question, has the NBA figured him out? The NBA already knew about him coming out of college, so they already knew what his strengths and his weaknesses were. His offensively, I went back and looked at his rap sheet, and they say that he had tight handles. He has great vision, running vision, passing instincts. You know, those were offensive strengths. And when you look at some of his defensive weaknesses, you know, I just think at the end of the day, as a player, you have to work on your game repeatedly. All the great ones do it. They study themselves. It's kind of like cops and robbers. You always got to stay ahead of the game because you got to know that if you are considered one of the best, that they are studying you. So I think what Trae Young has to do, he has to just go back and review his game, look at himself and work on it. And I think he'll stay ahead of the game in the NBA. It'll take him a while to figure out
I got it. Be right there.
he is. So I think we had Jonathan popping back in here. Jonathan, are you back with us?
I think I have 11-8-2, I think.
I think Jonathan is making another sale. So, Tree, what's the update right now with the Hawks and the Celtics? What's the score? Has it changed?
Right now, it's 74-86 with 1 minute and 29 seconds in the third quarter.
Oh, man. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to stay with the hometown team. Instead of the Hawks, we're going to move over to the Braves. So, have you been keeping up with the Atlanta Braves?
I have not.
Well, I tell you what, the Braves, from the notes that I'm looking at, they are on a hot streak, 7 straight wins. And the question is, does a healthy Ronald Acuna make the Atlanta Braves a World Series lock? I don't think nothing is a lock. But does he make them better? I probably do. So let me ask you this question, Tree. Since you say you have not been watching too much of the Braves, and then we're going to jump into the Braves. I got something I want to say. I see we got Jonathan back. Jonathan, are you back with us?
I think I'm back. Can you guys hear me okay?
All right, man. Well, hey, I'm going to turn it back over to the superstar, man. Go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead.
Well, look, I appreciate you guys taking this thing over while we were trying to get situated. We could be somewhere. Every sports bar, of course, is packed with people everywhere, and my good friend, my buddy Mike George, has the All In Sports Bar. And on Tuesdays, not only do they have karaoke night, but tonight they decided to have a bike and Jeep show. So that's what you saw me. I wasn't in the weeds. I wasn't hunting. I was just out there with all the Jeeps that they have. I just want to say one thing really quickly before we shifted into baseball. The reason why I asked that question about Trae Young, I kind of parlayed off of something that Tyrone always used to say when we come on. He says, hey, we look at things in spans of 10 games. And when I looked at the last 10 games of the regular season and the first game against the Celtics, all of Trae's measurables are down. Shooting percentage down, especially from three-point range. He's been just terrible. And to me, that's been one of the keys why we don't see the Hawks doing what they did 2 years ago, that, you know, their main guy, measurables are all down. The same thing with John Collins. All of his numbers from where he was 2 years ago are all down. And I think that if they can't get that back up to snuff, the Hawks are going to have trouble. I will say this much. The last time I checked, the Hawks did appear to have a 7-point lead in the first quarter. So once again, maybe me speaking about them has got them fired up to take down the Celtics.
Yeah,
Well,
and
they haven't been leading since then.
Okay, well, there you go. And I heard you segue into the Braves about Ronald Acuna. Yeah, I mean, looking at Acuna, think about this. The Braves went to the World Series and won with him spending a lot of time being injured. And I'm just thinking now with him being 100%, you see the way he's come out of the box batting 389. I think he's got 17 runs batted in. I think 12 or 13 runs scored. I think that when he is on top of his game, it makes the Braves, I don't want to say a shoe-in, but almost a shoe-in to get to the World Series. When we look at how balanced that lineup is, from top to bottom in their pitching.
yeah, and I go back and I mentioned something that Tree mentioned. She said a couple of times, chemistry, team. She mentioned we talk about the NBA, the Grizzlies, how Morant, one of the key players, can fall out, but they just have the team chemistry. And I think that's actually how the Braves are. The Braves, same way. Ronald Acuna was injured. The Braves, they just kept going. And I like to use, and I'm going to use the term, a band of brothers. And again, it goes back to just that organization. They have, from the ownership down to the GM, down to the person that comes to turn the lights out so everybody goes home. They all understand why they are there. And I believe each player takes it upon themselves to actually do their best, to be the best. Now, when you add a healthy Ronald Acuna and Austin Riley and all these guys, I'm like, yes, you do have a dominant team. It's kind of like in the NBA. They say the big three, the big four. The more great players you can get on your team and be healthy, yes, without a doubt, it makes you very competitive and gives you a great opportunity. But also, let's not forget this. It is a long season. If you ask any baseball player, they're going to have ups and downs in the season. So the key is to stay consistent. So the more consistent the Braves stay, I think they do get themselves an opportunity. Just like we talk about the NBA playoffs. The second season, man, that's a whole different attitude. That's a whole different way people bring that energy. So, yeah, you want to play good in the regular season, but it's also the postseason that you really got to play at your high level.
Yeah, I think they do have a lot of team chemistry. You look at this team, like I said, it is very deep. Looks like Matt Olson now has kind of gotten his sea legs. This was the guy that came in last year under a lot of pressure because he's originally from this area. And I think, coming over, taking over from a future Hall of Famer, Freddie Freeman, there's a lot of pressure on him. But right now, he seems like he's in his pocket, doing very well, leads the Braves in homers, 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in. And the cool thing is, an interesting thing is, to me, the guy that really makes all this run is a guy that when he first came out, everybody said, could this guy be a good manager? I mean, Snitker is just like, he is the epitome of cool hand Luke. The guy just doesn't show any reaction. They talked about, hey, do you think it's the best lineup that the Braves have ever had? He said, well, this is a good lineup. He said that we've had some others. And he just never seems to get rattled. And I think that's why this team is able to win so many games on walk-off home runs, late inning surges, because they're like him. They just always believe, hey, if we play our game, then we have a chance to win, no matter what the odds are, no matter how many runs we're down. So, I think that combination, along with a healthy Acuna, I think the Braves are going to be a tough out.
Yeah, and also, you look at their players, okay? If you're going to have a good team, and yes, they're on a 7-game winning streak, and in order to get on any type of winning streak, that means everybody has to be doing their job, right? Just do your job. We've heard that before. Just do your job.
Do your job. You know about that, Tyrone.
I know, right? Just do your job, right? So when I look at the Braves and I contribute their 7-game winning streak to what I'm counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are batting over 300, right? 5 guys. You got one guy who's 1 point from actually being a 300 batter, which that would be Matt Olson. But you look at
Matt Olson, yep,
Ali, Travis, Orlando, and Acuna. Those guys right there. That's like back with the Yankees, what they call it, murderers row. I'm like, if you are a pitcher, like who you gonna walk? Who you gonna? Okay, we're gonna walk Acuna so we can get to Austin Rock. Hold on. So it's like pick your poison almost. It's like the Braves are very, I think, complete and it's all about staying healthy. And I think if they stay healthy, to me, when you're hitting 300, that means you're putting the ball in play. You're putting the ball in play. And man, you know, if everybody put the ball in play, you're 4 runs.
Well, I think one of the things that's helped, you guys know they had 2 big rule changes in the offseason. One of them is putting both the pitchers and the batters on a pitch count. I mean, so literally you have a certain amount of time that you got to get up to the plate and, you know, be about your business. Same thing as a pitcher. You can't do all this, you know, going to the back of your neck and getting Vaseline. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Doing whatever you're trying to do to rub that ball up. Can't do that now. They got you on a pitch count. If you don't do it, the batter automatically it's a ball. But vice versa. If the batter gets in there and does all this stuff with adjusting his wristbands and stuff and doesn't call one of his, I think you get 2 timeouts per game, you will be assessed a strike. As a matter of fact, we had a situation where a player was ejected because he was called out, I think, to end the game, and he went ballistic. But that's what you're going to get. The other thing, too, is for those who don't know, they have moved away from the shift. And what the shift is, if you know, for example, a left-hand batter is a pull hitter, that means most likely he's going to hit the ball very hard towards third base. And it used to be you could have the third baseman, the shortstop, move the second baseman over and even move the center fielder over into left center field. Can't do that anymore. You have to keep kind of pretty much dead center. So, yeah, you're just going to have a lot more offense as these rules kick into place. Speaking of rules kicking into place, we got to take a little break for our sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hold on.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
We're back, guys, with the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me is the beautiful Queen, Ms. Tree Dolman, and beneath us, the champion. Not just any champion, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Mr. Tyrone Poole is in the building. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, well, Minister, where are you at? I'm here at one of the local Chick-fil-A's. I'm here at the Chick-fil-A. Actually, it's a Truett version of Chick-fil-A right here in Morrow, Georgia, just minutes away from Allen Vigil Ford, who, as you guys know, is our premier sponsor here for the sports show. I want to give a big shout out to the guys at Chick-fil-A for letting me get my lemonade, and I have my waffle fries and my chicken nuggets. So we're ready to go. So I might take you guys and be off the screen while I'm chowing down while you guys just let everybody know. But yeah, we appreciate the guys here.
Yeah, you just make sure you got a mirror, and before you come back on camera, you put that mirror in front of your face and smile. Make sure you ain't got no chicken stuck between your teeth.
Whoa.
Hey, man.
Well, make sure I'm not a...
Hey, we got to make them laugh a little bit, right? Got to make them laugh. We can't be serious all the time. We can't be real all the time. We got to kind of like, you know, let the hair down, so to speak. Ain't that right, Tree?
That's right.
Let me make sure I got nothing. How do I look so far? Am I got anything in the teeth there?
Nah, man. You look like you are old bachelor looking for somebody. Like you're a bachelor looking for somebody.
You listen. You weren't supposed to tell people that I'm about to break the news that I'm going on an actual hunt. I'm going to really put it out there. I'm a bachelor seeking matrimony, or at least we'll start with a girlfriend. So I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna have my own reality show. The Minister Meets a Woman. So you know, I'm just saying.
Tree gonna be your agent. We're talking about sports. It's a sports show. She gonna be your relationship agent. So she gonna go out there and find the right team for you or the right person for you. You're gonna come and sign a long-term
contract. Amen. And listen, and who better than Tree? Because I will tell you, when I first met Tree was at a fundraiser, and there were many lovely young ladies that were there, and many of them appeared to be single. So who knows? Tree might even know someone that she might say, well, I can kind of recommend you, kind of, maybe. She's not saying nothing, Tyrone. I'm in trouble. There we go.
Well, I
I'm
will
gonna
say
tell-
I think I'm a great matchmaker, but I don't hook a lot of people up because I only hook people up when I think it's a real match. So I'm not just going to hook people up just, oh, this person looks nice, hook me up. No, I have to make sure. I know that you're looking for the real thing, but if I meet somebody else that's looking for the real thing, I'm not going to hook someone up and one person is playing and they're not ready and then somebody else is. I don't believe in breaking hearts.
That's fair enough. But I'm just putting it out there, guys. I'm gonna start putting a little banner. The minister is looking. You're gonna start seeing that running right underneath Field Talk Sports Show. Listen, I mean, if everybody else is doing a reality show, why not me? I mean, I can handle that. I mean, a little grumpy today because I just came from work, but at the end of the day, that's a good sign. You know, I'm a working man. I'm gainfully employed, so that's a start. You see, I speak the King's English. So I'm just saying, could be worse. But anyway, let's get back to sports talk.
And I'm say this joke real quick before we get back to sports. Now, on social
I'm in
media,
trouble.
there's a lot of like little skits that people be doing. Okay, and this is one skit, Jonathan, that if you do it, I guarantee you. Now you're gonna pull in the good ones and the bad ones, but it's pretty much surefire way to get somebody's attention, a female's attention. You take the baddest car on the lot and you go and park somewhere, and as women walk up and down, you try to go over there and try to introduce yourself. And then right when they, you know what, I don't want to talk to you, then you go get in that bad car or get ready to open it, and they're gonna come to you and say, oh, hold on, is that your car? But like, yeah, that's my car. Oh, now they're gonna want to start talking to you. So
And you don't want to talk to any of those women that do that because they want you for the wrong reason.
Oh, for real? All right, well, sometimes it's good to be wanted. I'm just saying. I mean,
Even if it's for the
no,
wrong
but I've
reason?
seen that. No, I've been on that road. No, we want to do that. But Tyrone, I've actually seen that. It is hilarious though. Yeah, because the woman just has no interest until she sees the guy heading to his car, and they say, "Oh, that's your car." Yes, it is. Oh, let me say, no, I'm not interested. Keep it moving. Bye.
yeah. So I guess we keep it moving.
But
keep it moving in sports. So what we got, Jonathan?
Keep it moving. What we got, man? So we were talking about baseball, talking about the Braves. And here was another team to start off red hot. How about let's give a big shout out to the Tampa Bay Rays. 13 consecutive wins to start the season. 13-0 for the Rays. So let's give big applause for those guys because that's tough to come out of the box and win 13 straight. So big ups to them. Now, unfortunately, they lost 3 in a row, but again, kudos to them for winning 13 straight. And I think baseball is going to be pretty interesting this year with all the new rule changes. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll be able to cover the Braves at some point during the season. Yeah, I think it's going to be must-see TV. So we're looking for some good stuff from Major League Baseball. But what time do we have on the clock here? Our time is we're moving right along. Football. All right, did you guys discuss the contract with Jalen Hurts? Have we discussed that already?
No, we have not touched on. Show me the money. The OJ.
And y'all know he got showed a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. I believe the contract was, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyrone, $250 million, I think is what the whole package was for.
Yeah, it's, it was a lot of money.
That's Tyrone. Yep, $250.
Yeah, he signed a real big deal, but again, it's just a testament of how much money is coming into the NFL every year. And I did a little bit of research, and I went back all the way back, talking about quarterbacks, looking at Peyton Manning, okay? Back in 2004, when Peyton signed his 7-year, $98 million, okay? People like, oh, that's a lot of money.
That was big money.
It was at that time, yes.
Right.
But then you go up to 2007, okay? Well, let's take it up even more, all right? Let's go to 2012, Drew Brees. He signed a 5-year deal, $100 million with the Saints, okay? 2012. It's 2023 now, right? So, again, now we take that thing even up far. Andrew Luck, 2016, signed a 5-year, $23 million. See, what I'm trying to let everybody see, every year the contracts get bigger because television revenue comes in. Now the NFL not too long ago signed this deal with DraftKings and all that. So yeah, I expect Jalen Hurts to get that type of money. But here's the question: like they said, he has now set the floor. Now you got Hubbard out there with the Chargers. You got all these other quarterbacks. Oh my goodness, what is that money gonna look like when those come up? Oh man! But now, congratulations, Jalen Hurts. Everybody talking about his story. Yeah, great story, and he ended up getting paid on top of that. So, great story.
Tree, what do you think, Jalen Hurts? Apparently a believer, a very humble young man. What do you think about him getting this big deal put together for him?
I love it. And the best part about him getting this great deal put together on his behalf is the fact that he has an African-American woman that's his agent. And people just don't realize how different that is. Most agents in sports, especially for men, are men. I know when I was younger, at one point, I wanted to be an agent because I love sports after I wasn't going to play professionally in Europe anymore. And what deterred me was just that everybody that I spoke to was just saying that there just aren't women agents out there. A lot of men pick men, and you don't see a lot of women agents. So I'm really happy that this is happening, and I'm hoping that we can also see more women agents, and not even just Black women, but just women in particular, because having a woman on your team is what every person needs. And so I'm really happy for her, and I'm really happy for Jalen Hurts. But let's also keep in mind what was the main factor in him getting this deal are his numbers. So let's not forget the fact that he produced, and because he produced and because he has great numbers, he was able to get this deal and break history and break records and set history. But it's also all in how you play on the field.
And I want to remind people this as well, okay? That 255. Let's already slash that. Let's say half. Let's say half already, because the IRS has already taken. So really, that 255 is not 255. Okay, and then let's talk about the agent. The agent's gonna get something. Okay, whether they get 3 to 7 to whatever, then we negotiated, and then he got other things. So really, it's not gonna be 255. So that's why when you look at Lamar Jackson. Now people start to say, well, maybe Lamar Jackson wasn't so off the rockers, because now Jalen Hurts has set the bar for Lamar Jackson. So now Lamar Jackson, along with other athletes, they have negotiated their own contracts. Jacoby Brissett, a quarterback, Lamar Jackson, Richard Sherman. Everybody remember Richard Sherman did his own deal. DeAndre Hopkins, his own agent. So, unlike Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't have that agent. So now, the IRS going to get their amount, but again, Lamar Jackson, he's going to keep a big amount of money because he doesn't have an agent. And so, so it's good that Jalen Hurts got that money, but also he just helped Lamar Jackson out as well.
And that was my question. I mean, do you think now that the deal is going to get done, do you think that this now means that Lamar Jackson is going to have the money shown to him? Because now, like you said, the bar has been reset, and it looks like that $250 million is, like you said, it was not an outlandish amount at the end of the day. So do you think now that this kind of thing will wrap up now and we'll see him in a Ravens uniform under contract, especially since they made the move to bring in OBJ? Now, again, we don't know how Beckham's going to respond after injury, but if we can even get 80 or 90% of the old OBJ, he's going to be a threat in that offensive scheme.
Well, I think with Odell Beckham Jr., I think just his presence, the mystique about him, just like we talked about the Golden State Warriors, they still have a little bit of fear from other teams because of what they've done in the past. And I still think Odell Beckham still has fear in defensive backs, defensive coordinators. So if you bring back Lamar Jackson, now you make your offense even more you know, tremendous. So I think definitely bringing Lamar Jackson back, Odell Beckham Jr. makes their offense more potent and give them an opportunity to compete.
Well, speaking of potent, after looking at these moves that we've seen so far with our own Atlanta Falcons, signing a former All-Pro safety, Jesse Bates out of Cincinnati, bringing in a really, I think, a living legend in Calais Campbell, and bringing a guy that at one point from your Lions was a top 10 draft pick in Jeff Okudah. Do you think now this Falcons team realistically is a team that you've got to look at as a legitimate contender for making a decent run in the postseason next year? The silence is deafening. I guess not.
Well, I don't know about making a serious run in the postseason. I think possibly they could get to the postseason, but I don't see them making a serious run. I mean, I think I would need to see a few more pieces, but I think that with the moves that they are making, they are definitely showing that is what they are looking for. So I need to see a couple of more things, but yes, they are definitely making some big time moves that will definitely have a huge impact on the team.
Yeah,
Tyrone, your thoughts on these moves?
Yeah, on the signing that the signings that the Falcons have made, there's only two of them that I'm really, three of them I'm really impressed with. Bates, the reason why I'm really impressed with his signing is because he played 98% of the field snaps. Okay, so he was on the field. All right. As far as Campbell, he only played 54% of the snaps. So that tells me a lot that maybe there's some injuries there. Okay, some injuries with the Ravens. And then when you look at them signing their own player, when Gary signing him back, he played 100% of the snaps. And then the last one I actually look at is where's my guy? Lindstrom. Again, he's another guy that played a lot of snaps with the Falcons to bring him back. So really to bring that core back and then get Bates, again, playing 98%, that's a big loss for the Bengals, a real big pickup for the Falcons. And everybody else is kind of like, that 50 to 70% range of team snaps, which means to me that they have somewhere. So now it's all about, are they healthy?
Yeah, no doubt. You've been in the league, Tyrone, and Tree, you played in various levels. Obviously, an athlete he can try in terms of effort, but as far as performance, it's difficult to give you 100% when you're not 100% healthy. So there's no doubt that that's going to have an impact. But I just like what they've done in terms of depth, because we forget they already had guys in the team already that were pretty good. And I think that these guys are going to be, first of all, be pushed to be better because they now have some more serious competition. And I think that they plug some holes defensively, especially in the defensive backfield. And again, this is all predicated on Okudah being healthy because, he kind of has not been healthy. So if he can, again, give me just 90% of what you used to be, and I think if we could get that, it would be pretty good. Can we get a score update? Because we are getting close to our 9 o'clock hour. What's the score there, Tree?
Score.
Hawks Celtics.
Yes. I'm rewinding it. Okay. 97, 114, fourth quarter, 3 minutes and 51 seconds left. Oh, Celtics are leading.
Okay, so you says 114 and 97? Well, that's what I thought.
96.
Okay, so Celtics basically have clamped down, and they're about to get the Hawks out of there with a 2-0 deficit. Well, I'm not going to say it's not unexpected. I will say this, is that the Hawks and the Celtics, as I mentioned earlier before, talking to several people, these two teams have had a history over the decades of having some of the great matchups as far as 7-game knockdown dragout. And I can remember 15 years ago, we had a number 1 ranked Celtics team roll in and win the first 2 games, I'd say somewhat easily in Boston. And I don't know what switch the Hawks hit when they came back here, but they actually won the next 2 games. And it turned out to be a 7-game series, one of the best series I've ever seen. And then going back even further, the great showdown between Larry Bird and Dominic Wilkins, where the Hawks actually had a 3-2 lead at home. And Larry Bird, being Larry Legend, brought the Celtics back to win that and later went on to win the NBA championship. So don't cut the Hawks out yet. They got to come back to State Farm. I think they can make some noise, but of course we do know now they are in an absolute must-win situation because you can't go down 3-0. No doubt about that. So another disappointing evening with our Atlanta Hawks. Amen. That's what we're going to do. All right, well, our time is just about up here, so you know how we do this, guys. We want to make sure that you know all about everyone here that is on our show. So we're going to get right to it here, and we're going to let everybody sign off. I think I can do this from my phone. Let's take a peek. Hopefully I can. I'm going to try right now to get Mr. Tyrone Poole all by his lonesome. See if I can make it work. And it ain't working. Oh, we got it. There it is. Tyrone Poole. The floor is yours.
Yeah, Tyrone Poole 38 all social media. So Tyrone Poole 38 all social media, and go check out Work That Thing supplements, workthatthing.com, and also need your support with the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. So
there we go. We found it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Always a pleasure, Tree. Always a pleasure, Jonathan. Everybody have a great rest of wherever you are. Time.
You too,
Tyrone, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right. And we're going to now try to see if we can get Miss Tree Dolman, if I can do this all with my fat fingers on the phone. Here we go. Stay by Tyrone. And we'll see if we can get on it. There we go. All right. So now we're going to get Miss Tree Dolman. I think you're there somewhere. I don't know where I'm at. Well, that's me. I don't want me. I want Tree. Let's try it one more time. And probably hope I have my glasses. Okay, let's go here to solo layout. I see you somewhere. There we are. There she is. Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Don't forget to sign up for my 5K. The early bird pricing ends tomorrow. You can sign up at runsignup.com/GoGrade for a Cure 5K. Funds are going for life-saving brain cancer research. Again, the 5K is virtual and we have in person, so everybody can participate. Runsignup.com/GoGrade for a Cure 5K. You can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022.
Queen, we appreciate you so much. Okay, let's see if I can make this work now for me. You probably don't care if I'm on by myself, but we're going to try it anyway. Let's see what we can do here. We're going to go back here to our happy screen, and let's see if I can make it all work. And we're still done with that. I don't know, a lot going on here. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, guys, I've had enough fun for the night. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up and say good night to everyone. We're doing it a little differently tonight. We're going to have everybody on the screen, and we're going to say, okay, guys, God bless you, take care, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. So long.